It's time for the RMAC Radio Show, featuring all the latest information from around the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference. The RMAC is a proud member of NCAA Division II. Now, here's your host, Eric Danner.
Welcome to the RMAC Radio Show. My name is Eric Danner. Another big show planned for you today. We're going to talk some men's hoops here in the first segment, but we're also going to talk with Ryan Baily, the indoor track and field coach at Chadron State. The Eagles will be hosting this week's RMAC Championships. Segment number 2, we're going to talk to Corey Laster, the head women's basketball coach at UCCS. The Mountain Lions have won 4 in a row and are in good shape to make the RMAC tournament. And in our final segment, we're going to talk with TJ Hepburn, the RMAC preseason Wrestler of the Year. He was the Wrestler of the Year last year from Nebraska-Kearney, ranked number 2 in the country. So we'll have him in our final segment, as Hays, Kansas will be the site of the RMAC Wrestling Championships also this weekend. And it's the final weekend of RMAC regular season basketball. Congratulations to the Colorado School of Mines, the Ore Diggers, winning the RMAC Championship for the second year in a row, 18-2 in the conference, and they are really rolling, winners of 10 in a row. CSM, they'll be finishing up the regular season at CSU Pueblo and UCCS this weekend. Metro State has clinched a spot in the RMAC tournament. They're 16-5. Adams State at 14-6. Kearney, Mesa, Chadron State has also clinched a spot in the RMAC tournament. So congratulations to those teams for making it. Just a couple of things to be settled in this final week. Fort Lewis at 11-9. They need to win a game or have some other things happen to get in the RMAC tournament. Western State on the bubble at the 8th spot at 10-10. CSU Pueblo at 9-11 needs some help to get into the tournament possibly. New Mexico Highlands, Western New Mexico at 9-12. They're both still mathematically alive, but not in real good shape to get in at this point. And then UCCS, CCU, and Regis will be playing their final weekend this upcoming weekend. Offensive Player of the Week, brought to you by Baden, goes to Reggie Evans of Metro State. Became the 6th player in Metro State history to score 1,500 career points, averaging 20.7 rebounds to lead the Roadrunners to a couple of victories as they clinch the number 2 seed in the RMAC tournament. They will be hosting next Tuesday. Defensively, Trevor Wages of Colorado Mines had 16 rebounds for the Ore Diggers this past weekend. He's our RMAC Defensive Player of the Week. And for more what's going to be happening this upcoming week in RMAC men's basketball, let's head over to Chris Polton at the RMAC Sports Desk.
Thanks, Eric. It's the final week of regular season in RMAC basketball. Colorado Mines clinched the regular season title for the second straight year and played 2 important games on the road. The Ore Diggers look to end CSU Pueblo's hopes at a conference tourney bid on Friday night. The T-Wolves enter the weekend at 9-11, a game out of the 8th spot. Saturday night, CSM hits up the Gallagly Event Center for a game with 6-14 UC Colorado Springs. Metro State is holding down the second spot at 16-5. The Roadrunners host Regis on Saturday night at 7 p.m. Adams State sits in third. Colorado Mesa is the Grizzlies' opponent on Friday. The Mavs are still in the hunt for hosting a first-round home game in the RMAC tournament. Saturday night, ASC welcomes in arch rival Western State, who occupies the 8th spot in the conference. The Mountaineers travel to Fort Lewis on Friday night. The Skyhawks are 1 game in front of WSC. Saturday night, Fort Lewis hosts Colorado Mesa. Nebraska-Kearney hits the road against their nemesis, Chadron State. The last meeting in conference for these two proves to be one of the biggest in their history, as they both have clinched spots in the RMAC tournament. New Mexico Highlands and Western New Mexico playing to break their tie at 9-12 in Las Vegas, New Mexico on Saturday. Colorado Christian is on the road for their final week, playing in the Springs on Friday night. CCU ends their season at Masari Arena, where the T-Wolves await. You can catch all the games on America One. I'm Chris Polton, and that's your men's basketball update.
Thank you, Chris. As we mentioned, we're now talking indoor track and field, and joining us on the RMAC hotline is the head coach of the Chadron State Eagles. His name is Ryan Baily. Coach Baily, how's it going today?
It's going very good.
Coach, always a busy time for you when you got the conference championships coming up. Your 3rd year at Chadron, I think. Is this your 2nd time hosting the championships, or is this the first time you're getting the pleasure of doing this?
This is the first time time, I'm responsible for hosting, but obviously I got Coach Hoffman that's helping me out with it, and he hosted in 2009. So it's been a smooth transition as far as that goes, and I've hosted when I was at Western a few times, so I'm very familiar with the situation.
Talking with Ryan Baily, the head men's and women's indoor track and field coach at Chadron State, and in a town like Chadron, Coach, obviously not the largest town in the RMAC, but you kind of need all hands on deck to help out with a large event like this. I believe we're talking about this here in the office between indoor and outdoor track and field. It's actually, in terms of the number of participants, the largest championship that we have in the RMAC. So what kind of things have you been doing to get ready for this I'm guessing for the past year?
Yes, fortunately, we have a lot of good community help, and we got a lot of support in the community. We got a lot of people really stepping up. I got a lot of head officials coming in from all over, Denver area, wherever, just to make this thing run. And like I said, with all the support that we've been given at Chadron and the community stepping up, we have a lot of track fans here and people that love track in this area. That makes it that really helps when you really need to host a championship. You can get a lot of people in to assist you. So it's been, as far as that goes, we've been doing very well with that, and we're excited to get all these teams in. I mean, RMAC obviously in track right now. I think on the last computer rankings, the RMAC is the second strongest conference in the country. I believe just behind the GLIAC for both the men and the women. So, I think it's exciting to bring in such a large number. It's great for the community, great for the school. We're really excited to do it.
Talking with Ryan Baily from Chadron State College. And the other thing, other than hosting the event, Coach, you got to get your team ready for these RMAC championships. Let's start with the men's side. I know in the preseason rankings, it seemed the coaches had your women's team ahead of your men's team, but as the season's gone along, in terms of, I guess, some of the qualifiers, automatic qualifiers, maybe the men in the national rankings are a little ahead of the women. I know Cody Hunt has been one of the great throwers in the RMAC the last few years. I guess that's where we'll start, is he's got to be a guy you've been real excited about coaching the last couple of years.
Oh, absolutely. We have some, and also getting a chance to sleep in our own bed with the RMACs. We're really excited for big things to happen. Obviously, leading the way will be Cody Hunt for sure, and he's just a great guy. He's a good thrower, real good person to be around in general, and he's actually capable of throwing really well. Obviously, where I think he's going to throw the best is this weekend. I feel like this is his home turf, and he loves throwing in front of a crowd and putting on a show. So, I'm excited to see what he can do, and likewise, some of our other athletes will step up, and I'm confident they'll do very well. As far as the RMAC's concerned, we're the only team this year that's even competed on our track, and we've done some things as far as the coaching staff to make this more conducive to the RMAC. As far as in a lot of conferences, it's very rare to host on an undersized track, and we are in that situation. So we've actually got permission through the NCAA and remarked it with the civil engineer to remark all the markings to go to a 4-lane track just to widen it up a bit, and it almost takes off like a lap in the mile, takes off a couple laps in the 5K and so forth. So, it's going to be faster. We still get the undersized conversion and everything. It's going to be the best thing for the RMAC. So we're really trying to make this meet run appropriately, and our kids, we've tested it out in a meet at the Twilight Championship, or at the Twilight meet a couple weeks ago, and our times will improve. It's a faster track now, and so we're really excited to see how it turns out and how the RMAC responds to it, because we are looking at resurfacing our indoor next summer, and with that we will go to a 4-lane track, so just to widen it up a bit and make it a little faster for the RMAC, because this is when most teams are at their best, and we want to see what we can do. But we're real excited about hosting the championships once again, and we do have some kids that'll step up. Like I've always said, even though we're busy hosting the meet and getting everything organized and ready to go, a lot of the hard work we've done is already the hard work, and right now we're just in a situation where we just have to do some fine-tuning.
Talking with Ryan Baily, third-year head coach at Chadron State, and the RMAC Championships, as you mentioned, will be this Friday and Saturday. That's February 24th, 25th. The finals will be on the 25th in terms of recognizing an RMAC champion. And looking at those national rankings, Coach, I believe we got, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams on the men's side. You guys are ranked number 20 on the women's side. Of course, Adams State, always one of the strongest teams in the country, and once again look to be the team to beat. As far as your women's team, Coach, I noticed you have some throwers that are on the verge of possibly qualifying for the NCAAs this year.
Yeah, that's a big area for us. We're a very young squad, but the national meet has really blown up as far as quality throwers. So, marks that would have got in 2 or 3 years ago. I mean, you have to throw quite a bit further to really sink a spot at the national meet. But yeah, our throwers, we got some throwers that are really on the verge of hitting some big throws and some big marks, and hopefully we can get 1 or 2 of them into the national meet, which would be really exciting. But, they're going to have to throw further, and obviously there's no better place to do that than home. And so, we're definitely excited about our throw squad. Coach Horsley's been working with them, and she does a really good job. So we're excited about that, and we're excited about some of our guys sprinters and some of our, hopefully we can kind of get everything put together going into the championships. But just like you said, Eric, I mean, with all these teams in the top in the country, I spoke with our booster club the other day, and, just saying how exciting it is to be part of such a great conference and part of such a quality field when you're bringing in, like for the men, for instance, you have 5 teams in the top 20 in the country. I mean, that's exciting. So, it's going to be a dogfight at the RMAC Championships. Anything can happen. So, hopefully our men can fare well. But I just want everyone to have a great experience, and I want to see best marks and personal best marks from all over. I think that'll be exciting.
Talking with Ryan Baily from Chadron State, and I know, Coach, it's always a challenge with indoor track and field, like you mentioned, some of the configurations, just trying to get the track, so like you said, get some fewer laps on the mile and some of those events. And I believe you're running a 55 instead of a 60 on the sprints there. As far as seating goes for people who might be coming out to Chadron, what kind of setup do you have there?
Well, we actually have been able to accommodate a ton of seating. We don't like to do a lot of tall bleachers, so we got a lot of sporadic bleachers on the inside of the track to try not to block the track, so most coaches can see it and take splits and so forth. And we just had a meet a couple weeks ago where we hosted 650 high school kids. So we're very confident we can pull this off and have plenty of room for spectators and so forth, and I think it'll go really well.
Well, hey, Coach, it sounds like should be a great event, and I want to encourage anybody to go out there and cheer their teams on, and good luck to you the rest of the way, Coach.
Thanks a lot, Eric. I really appreciate it.
All right, that is Ryan Baily from Chadron State College, formerly the head coach at Western State. So he's been around the RMAC a long time, was a student athlete at Chadron State, went back home 3 years ago to take over the track program, ironically, for John Reiners, who we talked a little bit about a couple weeks ago, the new head football coach at Black Hill State. So Chadron State, kind of the cradle of coaches over there, I guess. Well, when we come back, we're going to talk to another coach. Going to talk with Corey Laster from UCCS. Their women's basketball team is red hot. You're listening to the RMAC Radio Show.